The wave split, Jers. I wrote up on the course preview, was looking at the wind. I saw there would be a potential for something happening on a wave split perspective. It's now become, I don't think I've ever seen a week ever from a betting perspective where the wave split is more talked about. The reason I brought it up in the context of the movers and the shakers is that a lot of guys' odds moved a lot depending on which wave they were in. I got a question for you on it that has to do with what you saw out there at Boots today. But I just want to say first, we look at the weather every tournament. We have the weather up on the site every tournament. Yes, obviously, when you look at like the shape of when the wind's going to come in and when the wind's going to die off, it obviously favors the AM PM players. There's no question about that. But we're not talking about catastrophic winds. I think the strongest it's supposed to get is around 15, 20 miles an hour. Having been out there and seeing the course, is this a place where wind is like a 20-mile-an-hour wind is catastrophic versus a 5 to 10-mile-an-hour wind? Give me your thoughts as a bootser of how, I know the wind wasn't wasn't there today, but how do you think about that?
So yeah, I was definitely monitoring the wind speeds while I was out there because I noticed that there was a wave split coming up in the potential wave split coming up. So this afternoon it was around like 10 to 13 miles an hour in the afternoon, opposed to probably 7 to 10 in the morning. So when I was there, I noticed around 2, 1 o'clock, the wind kind of kicked up and it was only at 13 miles an hour. With that being said, if we're seeing 20, I really do think it's going to be a difference. If it's supposed to, especially what the wave split's showing, it's showing a lot or a little to a lot. And I noticed, so Adam's, I think he's got to deal with a dog right now. I think he's got to deal with a dog. So I noticed that it was showing that. So what I'm saying is I do think it's going to be a problem. I think that you really want to get in that AM wave because the fairways and the sight lines are so difficult to hit on a normal conditions. This Valspar is always hard. Add in 20-mile-an-hour winds to one half of the field, it's not going to be easy. It won't.
And yes, I am dealing with a barking dog, attempting to try to do that while podcasting. Not easy, but it's strokes gained dog. It's boot by boot. So this is a literal dog that we're talking about right now. So ultimately, are you going to be exclusive to the PM AM wave? How are you thinking about it? And is there a difference of how you're thinking about it between the outright market and the DFS market?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to give my thought process on this on the pod and also ask you yours. So I think I'm going to make a stand and bet in the AM wave. So Adam's going to listen to this after. Bet in the AM wave. So my thought process is I'm a big find reasons to cross guys off. You know me, Adam. I fade the chart every week for a reason. I fade to live in majors for no reason but just to cross guys off because outright golf betting is hard enough. If you could find any narrative or any reason to have guys not to bet, that just gives you more opportunity.
Well, and I think too on that, just like that goes back to what you were saying about Rory last week. It sucked. It boots. Sometimes you're looking for reasons to cross somebody off. You crossed off Rory from what you saw. Obviously, didn't work at that case, but and live in majors doesn't always work out. As we were talking about last time, they have won a major the last 2 years. But you stick. The chart wins sometimes, but you stick to your guns. Is what I'm saying. Even when it whether it goes against you or not. So continue on. But just want to.
I'm a very process oriented person, and when it comes to this, so if I can find a narrative. And like if there's wave splits, like sometimes they're nothing, but this week it might be a real wave split. So if I'm thinking the winner comes from the AM wave, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm gonna cross off the PM and just bet in that AM and bet guys who aren't on the chart, and hopefully that can lead me on to the potential winner this week. And I've done it before; it hasn't worked, so I can live with it if it doesn't work. I really can. But I do think I'm taking the stand. I haven't officially gotten there yet, but as of now, I'm taking the stand. I'm crossing guys off.
I'm going to say, and I also haven't dug fully into the card. I wanted to see the tee times come out. I wanted to see how this wave split narrative is developing. I haven't dug in, like I literally just said, but the way the odds have moved to me has just been too extreme. This to me, again, I see everything also that everybody's saying, and I agree with it. But what I'm saying is this isn't cataclysmic winds. It's not the difference between 5 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour. This isn't Royal T, where we saw one of the great wave splits in golf history. This is a spot where it's going to be a difference between 5 to 10 miles an hour and 15 to 20 miles an hour. And yes, 100% does that matter. Does it matter enough where the odds board literally changed more, I think, than the odds board has ever changed before? I don't think so. And in the same way that you're talking about your process and where you like to stick by your guns, my process is when something stands out as it went a little too far or people overreacted, in my opinion, a little too much. I think there might be some opportunities there. And I think specifically in the outright market, because I think this is a course in more difficult conditions, a little higher scoring, where you can hang around, you can battle through a cut, make the cut within a couple of shots, and then do some damage over the weekend. So again, haven't put the card together. I'm definitely going to be leaning that way if it comes down to like a coin flip. And I don't think I would necessarily want to go to a guy from the top of the board who's on the wrong side of the wave. I'd rather take some, bullets down the board there and hope that one of them pops. But we'll see. And I just think that like the narrative has become, this is the only way to bet this tournament. And when that starts to be the case, get contrarian. That's kind of interesting to me as well.
So with that being said, this is the quintessential 1-1 best odds board of all time for you.
So it was, as of the Sunday pod, I said that because the top of the B effectively has no chance, that there's a shit ton of opportunity down the board. I was seeing guys from the 70 and above range. I was like, this is amazing. Again, I haven't dug back in deeply since the reset of the odds board caused by the wind, but 95% chance this is still one of the greatest odds boards of all time. Jers, plenty of opportunities down the B, 35-man card. Get out the spreadsheets, get out the Excel, get out the ROI calculators. Based on what you saw, is there interest in any guys at the top of the board, or are you also going to be looking down the board? I know there has been times where you've put together a 15-man boots card. What are we expecting this week?
Yeah, but for the people who are listening that laughing, check the ROI. That's all I got to say. So yeah, I was definitely considering some guys from the top of the board. I mean, you can't argue. I'm not going to do it, but there's not. I don't think there's ever been a better chance for Tommy Fleetwood ahead of the tournament to win a golf tournament. He's in the good wave, the wind, difficult conditions, a golf course that favors his game. He's played well here before, but I think I would live with not being on a 10-1, 12-1 Tommy Fleetwood that ended up coming through. But I will say, and I want to ask you this question. If I can guarantee you Tommy Fleetwood will be within 4 strokes or in the lead going into the weekend, and you're getting a 10-1 on that him to pull through, are you taking it?
No chance. No.
Okay.
Tommy could have a 4-shot lead going into the weekend, and I would not take 10-1.
Perfect. Okay. That's all I wanted to say, because I do think that will be the case. I think he will be within 4.